Welcome to Momentum, the podcast. I'm Stilo. This is Carmen, otherwise known as Digital Femme online. I've gotten the chance to know her in the last couple months, and it's been an amazing experience going online and interacting with digital communities. So I wanted to start a podcast called Momentum, and we interview people all over the world, and we highlight digital communities and digital pioneers. So basically, we're diving deep into minds shaping the digital frontier. I'm Stilo. I'm an artist. I'm an innovator in the digital realm, known for my metaverse concerts and groundbreaking NFT projects. Through this podcast, we're going to explore the journey of creators, thinkers, visionaries as they navigate the evolving landscape of AI, digital economies, and internet culture. Join me as we uncover the stories behind the screens and look ahead to the future of art, music, and branding in a world where virtual meets reality. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmen. Thank you for being here. We're going to have a conversation. We're going to get to know Carmen a little bit more. I got to rock with her in our Super Wednesday concerts. Carmen, please introduce yourself, say hello to the world. We'd love to know who you are and what you're doing right now, what you're working on.
Oh my gosh. Hi, Stilo. First of all, hello world. That kind of reminds me of like the WordPress, the initial WordPress default blog, hello world. So that's kind of funny, taking us back to like the olden days. So my name is Carmen, otherwise known as Digital Femme. I've been Digital Femme literally since the mid 90s. So the reason why I wanted to name myself that online was because I was thinking, man, like we're eventually going to live in a world where everything is digital. And yeah, so I've been literally online in the space trying to connect with people and having a lot of fun collaborating. Right now, I work with a spatial web company called Over the Reality behind the scenes, and that's it. Let's get going.
Awesome. That's so cool. So I got to know you and just looking at your timeline, I got to see that you started in Second Life and you had some really groundbreaking moments there. I would say that's almost 20 years ago or 15 years ago. You know,
Yeah,
could,
yeah.
could you
That's
yeah, could you share with us just like how you got there, what drove your curiosity there, and just some memories. What happened in those times?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was living in Houston, Texas at the time, and this was in 2005. I just moved there from McAllen, Texas. So I was a nurse. And we lived in a duplex, and I had a neighbor upstairs who was like a marketing entrepreneur, and he knew that I was always into technology. Shout out to Jerry Villarreal in H Town. He actually found out about Second Life, and I remember he texted me and he says, "Hey, Carm, have you heard about Second Life?" And I said, no. So he sent me the link and we both entered. And if you've ever been on a metaverse where there was an avatar involved and you had to customize it, let me tell you, Stilo, literally, I spent 5 hours customizing that avatar. It is insane. Anyway, fast forward to 2007. I was heavily involved in Second Life. So here's the thing, guys. When you talk about metaverse or virtual worlds, back then in 2005, it was kind of like not really, obviously not mainstream. And a lot of the nurses knew that I was so into this Second Life thing and they used to make fun of me. But here's the thing, I think that name for that metaverse was perfect. Do you know why? It's because I was a nurse. Hey, I'm Filipino. So the typical Filipino nurse, which I never wanted to be. I wanted to be an architect. In Second Life, I was able to be that architect that I've always wanted to be. And I know Stilo, and I know for everybody that's watching that's on Spatial, Decentraland, or any other metaverse right now, you know what it's like. It's very empowering to create and express yourself where you sometimes aren't able to in the real world. And you know what? That actually can transition into whatever you're manifesting, like creating in a 3D virtual space. I don't know, it just adds something to you. So I met someone in Second Life in Frankfurt, Germany. Shout out to Fim Fisher. That's his avatar name.
You guys met in Second Life and met in real life.
Yes, we actually got married in Second Life as a role play. To
Wow.
Isabella, sorry, film. Okay, we it's a story, like it's one of those meant to be stories. And then we worked together on a 3D virtual magazine called First Touch magazine. We called it First Touch because the iPad wasn't even around, or iPhone. I mean, I think iPhone actually no, iPhone launched in 2009. We in 2007 developed First Touch magazine because we believe that we will have these devices where we don't have a quirky keyboard. It'll just be touching. So we had a magazine. It was scripted with a Linden scripting language. So where you touch it, it opens up. Like we literally had a publishing company in Second Life. So we
Right.
were we were
And
doing
and by touching you mean clicking.
yeah, right clicking. Yes, where your
Love it.
avatar would just right click and then it would open up a page. So we would like interview musicians, artists, just anybody in Second Life, just like a magazine in RL. And then I built an art gallery, and you curated that. It's just fantastic.
Mhm.
So in 2007 I made the decision to leave nursing and move to Frankfurt, Germany, because back then we believed that this 3D virtual world was going to be the next web. Like instead of 2D web, it's going to be the next way of interacting. Like it's just like what people are saying now, right? A website now is in 3D. I moved to Frankfurt. It wasn't so. I mean, the technology, mainstream, the mindset wasn't ready. So I
Mhm.
ended up being a English business trainer, business language trainer. But anyway, I got immersed in what's it called?
And why would you say it didn't work? Would you say it didn't work because of the economics, or like there weren't enough people to create an economy in a magazine, or
No, it wasn't just there was the economy in Second Life, but when you wanted to reach out to mainstream companies like cafes,
mm,
we reached out to RL cafes, RL sports. We actually like so many of those real life Web 2 companies, you would say, to get them to have a presence in Second Life. Some of them were not like, I don't know about this. And
mhm,
and plus not everybody had the laptop or computer to actually run the graphics,
right.
right? So it's the technology wasn't there, the mindset wasn't there, and yeah, it is what it is.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. I've heard stories of like shoe designers in Second Life and having like
Yes,
grand openings and like a line outside of the store waiting for the designer to drop a pair of women's
yes,
shoes, and
yes.
he was just 3D modeling and designing digitally. So for me, I was really curious about that. And lately I've been running into a lot of different people from Second Life. We like off the top of my head, Josh Garrett or artist Jody, um,
Oh,
and a couple others, and I love hearing all their stories because there is like some really, really amazing memories, and I think that's what it's all about. And I agree with you, like the Second Life thing that totally came to me as well. Like right when you said that, I was like, wow, what a perfect name, for a metaverse like that. And it's like, to me, another thought that came up was like, metaverse, what is a metaverse? Does a metaverse have more of like a realistic social impact, where it's more about the social networking like of it? Or because Call of Duty, or NBA 2K, you make your avatar, you're attached to that avatar, that's your digital representation in that game. There's a live chat, there's millions of people all over the world, they're just doing something different, so it's like, to you, what do you find like the difference between gaming and a metaverse? Are they the same, or what do
wow.
you think?
Wow, that's a really good question, especially for your audience and listeners out there who are kind of like iffy about the metaverse and all this. A really great question, Stilo. Okay, for me, since I've been around metaverses per se for a while, I've come to an understanding where, okay, I'm glad you mentioned Call of Duty. World of Warcraft was a metaverse in and of itself. So I'm glad you brought up like Roblox. They're all metaverses to me. I feel like I don't know. I feel like the term metaverse needs to evolve, because it's just morphing into so many other things, and people are understanding or trying to come up with an understanding of what it really is. For me, I tell people a metaverse to me is, I think, made up of three, or I can't remember, three or four things I said. Definitely a platform made up of people that creates a community. There has to be ability to create content. And number one, you need a currency to drive a digital economy. Oh, that's five. So you need the technological platform, whether it's Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft, what Call of Duty, whatever. You need the people, the users. So then you have the members to play in world. Then they're creating a community, whether they're forming a guild or a group or some kind of collaboration, like we just had with the Web3 Leader Summit, that Creative Owls and you, whereas the founder, Tampoco, and also Ira and a whole bunch of other people, you guys did that, forming a community. You need the ability to create content, and people have to use content, right? You can create content, but then who's going to use it? And then there's you all, to me it's also centers around, not centers around, but you need to have some type of digital currency or some kind of currency for exchange of goods and services to drive the digital economy. To me, that in of itself are the five aspects of what makes what you would call a metaverse in
Right.
my mind.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that's like the best way to break it down. You really like that was like an expert breakdown right there. Those are definitely five pillars of a metaverse. Um, s- uh, I was going to say something. Definitely a great way to explain it. So what think of when I bring up metaverse to people, like when I see their face, what I see is they think of being there. Like looking, you put these glasses on and you're there. And what you see out of your eyes is digital, and it's explorable. That's what kind of is the fantasy of it right now. The term metaverse took an interesting turn in October of 2021 when Meta announced their name switch. And everyone, everything just started, everyone started talking about it, and
Mhm.
everyone was getting into it, and it was a really nice spark for it. That's how I found it. It led from NFTs to the metaverse, and I think they're a great marriage. I think um, Twitter was so dope because you would have these PFPs and everyone had these communities, right? So like you have the platform, Twitter, you have the people, you have these communities, and with those communities came like NFT projects, like profile, cartoon, NFT projects. And that created the communities, and then the content was like the audio spaces. People were in audio spaces, and it was so cool to see the world use the blockchain to swag up their PFP. Their
Mhm.
representation was that circle, and it was like the age of the mascot. It was like, who you are, you a wolf, are you a bear, are you a dolphin, are you a this, that. So it was really cool. I really found that to be really, really special. I want to see that happen in the metaverse. I want to see creators. I think that's the future of creators, owning everything digitally is using the blockchain to, royalties, ownership, authenticity, timestamps. So, for those that don't know what the blockchain is, I would say it's an online ledger, world ledger. It's live all the time. Anyone and everyone can see every transaction that's on that, and it's confirmed by other computers around the world and that are mining. So, what are you doing with the rise of digital economies and content creating, branding, being like, we know this is going to be the future. This is now, but we're setting it up for the future. So, how are you positioning yourself in this space? What is driving you, and what's your ultimate goal right now?
Wow, good question. That's a heavy loaded question for me. Um, I'm currently in a space and place in my life where I'm doing like a sit back approach. The reason why is because if, and you can understand this, as an early adopter in 2005, 2007, doing all that content creating, making money, by the way. So I earned money in Linden dollars, and then I converted it into my PayPal account for earning US dollars. And it was fantastic. But I kind of like, what do you call it? I call it early adopter burnout. Because when you have the passion and you're all there and you're doing, you're creating and stuff like that, and then it's like, d- back then, where else was it going to go? Because, like I said, the technology, people didn't have the devices or the laptop with the graphics processor, video cards to process Second Life's client. Mainstream wasn't even much in the news except for bad press. So to me, I'm taking a sit back approach. I'm actually enjoying this new resurgence of the metaverse married with crypto, digital currency, and blockchain. Now, I must say, kudos to you, Stilo, Era, Tampoco, Creative Owl, and all those other people who have been very active in spatial. I was blown away. Oh, shout out to Altered Alley. Hey, Altered Alley,
Yeah.
right? Stilo, I was blown away by the content that everybody created in spatial. I think you guys totally leveled up an experience of what a 3D or a virtual world engagement can be. And Stilo, I love that you do your Super Wednesdays. Is it Super Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Live stream. You're actually live streaming. You're physically DJing an RL, and you're live streaming it into a virtual world, a metaverse, a spatial at this time. I think that's fantastic. So to me, I'm just sitting back. I'm enjoying this second generation or resurgence of the metaverse, and I'm loving how all the content creators have really leveled up the actual like 3D like graphics and stuff. And shout out to Altered Alley because I know he's done a lot on spatial and other metaverses as well. So I don't really have a plan per se. I don't know, like it hasn't hit me yet. um I want to start creating again, definitely on spatial, but I need time for that. But I'm just so happy to be like part of your community right now, like the spatial community right now.
Right. Totally. Yeah, I love that. I love that. It's the spatial community. Everyone is there. We're all doing something, creating, and I never like really calling it my community. It's totally just like a digital community, and I'm a part of it. I love it. I love what everyone's doing as well. Altered Alley. I'm a big lover of concerts, digital concerts. Like I love putting my VR headset, checking out an artist who's expressing themselves and really immersing myself in the moment, and dancing in my living room with my Quest on. I'm hot, I'm sweating, it's fun. See my friends, super cool. And with augmented reality, there could be some really, really, really interesting things happening in the future as well. Having, from warehouses who, with projections and displays and holograms and just it could be very interesting. And even with spatial, having augmented reality, you could almost have a party in your living room and screen record that on your iPhone. You know, so there's so many dope ideas, so many dope creators, and it was dope to meet you because I feel like you have a story to tell. You have so much inside you. Can't wait to connect with you more and create with you. And when you talking about like creating, when you mean you want to create in spatial, are you talking about diving into Unity and like how proficient are you?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you
And
for yeah,
And
go on.
and Unity is a gaming engine. For those who don't know, there's a couple out there. Unity, Unreal are like the two right now.
Mhm. I'm glad you brought up Unity. So in 2009, that was when Google open sourced Android, their mobile operating system. And I jumped on the bandwagon and called myself the Android PR gal. PR, not for public relations, but people relationships. Because because the fact that Android's platform was open source, all the devs were like, yeah, baby. And they were developing apps back in 2009, 2010. So so I wanted to help the mobile developers reach their target market. Now, I ended up interviewing Tom. something, I forgot his name, in 2010 when one of the Android conferences in Berlin. And he actually was an evangelist for Unity. So, Unity, not what initially, Unity was created for mobile development. It was uh, code one, deploy all. The reason why was because if you wanted to develop like an app or a game on iPhone, it was a completely different coding, and then you had screen size resolutions and all that. And if you wanted to develop apps on Android, oh my God, there were so many OEMs, original equipment manufacturers. You had like Huawei, I can't even remember those names, right? LG. So it was really difficult. So Unity initially started off as a platform for code one, deploy all. Now, when I was talking to Tom, and I actually have a 6-part video on YouTube about that interview, he kind of mentioned what Unity wanted to be. Like they wanted to be like the gaming, like they were going to develop that. And interestingly enough, I downloaded Unity, I think in 2012, and I was working for a medical research company at a university back in Canada, and somebody saw the logo on my Mac and they said, "What is that?" And I said, "Oh, that's Unity 3D." And they go, "What is it?" And I told them, "Oh, it's, like a 3D development software where it's pretty much like if you want to develop games." And they asked me in 2013, 2014, "Why do you have that?" Because back then I was just their social media person. And I go, "Oh, because I want to learn on Unity, because 3D content creation is going to be the future."
No
And
way.
yes, I said that to them, and they kind of looked at me because they're like, they didn't get it, like, what, 3D metaverse, like what? So back in 2013, 2014, because I remembered what Tom, the Unity evangelist, said, what their plans were, and it made sense. So I wanted to practice Unity, so I kind of did a bit, but no, I am nowhere near there because my current laptop, I upgraded it to the MacBook Air M1 silicon chip. It it doesn't really handle like the graphics and stuff.
Hmm.
Mind you, I'm glad you mentioned Unreal Engine. I downloaded Unreal Engine 5, and I wanted to make a metahuman. No, currently my devices can't handle that.
Dang.
But yes, I mean, if you are if you are a creator and you transition and you learn Unity or Unreal, like, or both, whatever, you need to do that. Like it's already here.
Right.
Like it's here already. So for those watching, it's just the future. And then who knows what AI is going to do, right? Stilo?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Of course. Yeah, I really loved the point that Mitch Jackson brought up. Shout out to Mitch Jackson. He's going to be doing a live seminar for 20 or 30 minutes in Spatial on Wednesdays. So he's going to be like covering, all this week's news, this week's, happenings in tech and law, copyrights, everything with AI and
Fantastic.
the blockchain. Yeah. So Spatial to me, has a huge, like, aesthetic to it that is like no other. Every platform does, but there's something about Spatial that kind of gives me like an Apple vibes. I have a PC. I used to have Mac, or I have a Mac Mini as well, and I was really curious to see how the M1 chip did and the M2 did chip with graphics. Because I almost went that route again, but I got a gaming computer for so cheap. And it was like 350. I got it on OfferUp. This guy, he in LA. He obviously, when I got it with the box and the instructions to set it up. So I feel like he bought it for like 150 bucks,
Wow.
put it together, and then lists it for resale. But it's pretty much brand new. I love it. It's like it's what's allowed me to level up and create way better content, screen record everything, live stream, record. I fly the camera during the party and get everyone while I'm streaming and the music's playing. It's so much fun. um, you know so speaking of AI, going to AI and everything, what I love about Mitch Jackson and what he said was in the future, with Unity and us, putting this time in right now and getting in, like right now, I just downloaded Unity, I downloaded Unreal, and us putting time, this time into it. It's curious. I'm curious because I know in a couple years you're gonna say, like you said, I'm doing a conference on uh, dissecting frogs. Can you make me a lab, an outdoor lab with, for people to come, and it will create, AI will create you a space like that, with Unity and everything like that. So it's really, really interesting. I also got into Unreal. I love Unreal. I love the nodes aspect, the work play. It's just dope. So I don't want to dive in too much because it's so early, and my time is, I'm like, I can't just go down rabbit holes. Like, what I do has to be efficient. I need to make sure I'm focusing on the right thing to get to the next level. So I'm like, dabbling a little bit with both, and then I also love to create music, in a digital workstation. So I'm like, okay, Mondays, I'm going to interview my favorite people, get to know them deeper. Tuesdays, I'm going to live stream my music sessions. Wednesdays, we're going to have the concerts. Thursday, music session. Friday, I'm not sure yet. I think I called it like Freestyle Fridays. I was going to, I forgot what I was going to do on Fridays. Let's see. Fridays is the recording. Oh, Thursday is like a building, gaming, exploring, where I just want to go through metaverses and just have fun for like, an hour. And then Fridays is another music session, freestyle Fridays. So that's just something I'm working on. Like last 2 years ago, we were doing shows 5 days a week in spatial. So it
Wow.
was like Monday would be like a recording lab where I would bring out the music I'm working on in spatial and just, edit. Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, Thursdays, it was like DJ night. Then Wednesdays was like,
Wow.
dope, like, fun night where it was like hip hop. And then Thursdays was like dance, like, let's have fun with EDM and house and techno and stuff. So, what kind of music do you like, Carmen?
A lot. Like, I love
Yeah,
EDM, I love techno, I love, like, old school hip hop, I love rap, I love some pop, I love K-pop,
nice,
BTS, I just so much, so much.
nice.
Rock.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah, I've gotten really into house, like deep house,
Yes.
and like super surf, fun, like fun summer music that's like deep housey, and yeah, and it evolves. So, what up to Arthina? Good morning. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Um, so yeah, let's see here. So, thank you for telling me about that, and I want to know. Let's see. So you've been at the forefront of metaverse concerts. Have uh, what, like? Can you tell me any stories from any concerts in the
Yes.
past, like Second Life
Yes,
or
yes.
any other platform that stands out to you, just so I could hear some experiences and maybe learn something.
Well, it's funny, but history absolutely repeats itself. So the first concert I went to in Second Life was Susan Vega. Um, they replicated her they made a guitar in Second Life with the Second Life in World Builder, and then she was in RL like what you are, and they set her up, and then they live streamed her audio, and she created an avatar. So in RL in real life, she was singing on a microphone with her guitar, and then in Second Life on a stage, she was her avatar had the guitar strumming with the script animation and singing. There was also Maroon 5, I believe, that was also in Second Life. And
No
then
way.
yes, and then they also did this concert where they did, I think, five musicians all over the world, and they were doing a collaboration music with all their avatars. And this was back in 2007, 8, 9. It's in YouTube. You can just Google it. Um, and I'm seeing that happen time and time again. Like, Sandbox has been active with getting who did like Snoop and whoever
Mm,
else, right? So when Sandbox or Decentraland, you heard them partnering with brands and musicians or
right.
artists. And
Parasites.
everybody's like all excited. I'm like, yeah, like
Right.
that was done already.
Right.
But still, it's like this is what you do on a creative platform. You create, you connect with. It's always artists, content creators are the drivers of any type of metaverse or platform. Always, it's always artists, whether you're a musician or singer or whatnot, and a creator. They're the drivers for the metaverse, to me anyway.
Hmm. I agree. I think when it comes to metaverse concerts, there's so many different ways you could do it, right? Like there's like the pre animated ones, there, where they play the animation that
Mhm.
someone made for hours, and then you have like a Zoom, and so you have like 100 people in a Zoom. They paid, you know. For access, and then the artist can talk to them in Zoom, see their chat in Zoom, while the animation's playing and the album's playing and stuff. So there's that. For me, I like the when the artist is there. I love like we were doing concert series last year, and we at one point 2 years ago we had like
Yes.
15 artists at once, and then we would have stand up comedy. We would shout out to Real Cats, and then I'm like LM. Do your
Yes,
you know
LM Design.
I'm like,
Wait,
do your poetry. And then she's like,
yeah.
yeah, okay. And then she did her poetry. And then, it just led to so many cool things. So it's like, we had I want to kind of return to that where every week we do like, I feature an artist and maybe we highlight a digital artist, but we also feature like a musical guest. So we'll have a musical guest, we'll highlight an artist, and then it's like the trifecta. Um, Definitely working right now on like the economy. What's something that fascinates me right now is the spatial store, or any in-game asset. I feel like in-game assets are the future.
S-
Even us talking about Twitter earlier, people are using the blockchain to make their PFP on Twitter look cool, or official with the hexagon, if you remember that.
Mhm,
You could
mhm.
you can verify your NFT as a hexagon. um, but like that's what I really want to focus on. I want to focus on, okay, like we have some really cool stuff going on. This is a fun place, it's got its momentum. It's 138 weeks in a row,
Wow.
137. So now it's time to build some in-game assets and some fun stuff we could add in there, and focus on like the music and how to get the music. Like, I want to see people go to Spotify and listen to the metaverse mixes. I would love to see them go to YouTube and check out put the metaverse mix while they work, or put on the concert on YouTube on TV.
Yes.
After every concert, I leave it on YouTube and I just like put it on in the living room, and it's so fun to watch, and
Wow.
it's really cool. So
Wait,
I also yeah.
Stilo, hold on. I gotta say how much I really do love what you're doing, live streaming your DJing, and you show your face, you're having fun, you're there with the crowd, and then so is your avatar and everybody else. They can see it in real and spatial. I really, 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 really love that aspect so much because you get to see your energy, your face, and you're with us
And you could
at
hear me,
that
right?
moment, absolutely,
Right.
and that whole energy thing was, like, amazing. I just
And I'm
love
like
that.
screaming. I'm like screaming
Yeah.
half the time.
No, I love that. I
Cool.
think that's the one of the best parts of this technology and how you're using it. Sure, you could just use your avatar and that'll be we're having a great time as well, but the fact that we get to see you in RL in real time, that to me is so special.
Yeah, thank you. Um yeah, I'm in love with what's happening. I want to see other artists do it. I want to, show what can be done. This is some powerful stuff here. I'm having parties where 50 people come every week, in and out. And there's been, we've one there's been a lot more before, but it was like in the hype of the season and the run and everything. But right now I'm just stoked. I'm just stoked on everyone that's coming, everyone that's there. I get to learn from the music. I get to learn from myself consciousness. Like, I've learned so much. So I thank you for coming to the concerts. Like, it's dope to see you. I got a really cool shot of you dancing, your avatar dancing. If you did you see that at all?
I saw
She like
that.
she like did a twirl, and I like just zoomed. I like flew through. I like flew right by you.
Yeah. Dude, you're really good at the fly through with the camera. It's like you got an avatar drone in there. 'Cause I don't even know. I saw that and I was like, oh God. So I just like, even though it's just an avatar, I'm still like, oh God.
Right, and
So-
and if you can, like, if you'll see the live stream on YouTube, like, I'll fly through, and there was like I think it was Tenta Labs. They were having a coffee in on the chair. They were chilling with a coffee, and I go to the coffee and I go to his face, and they were looking this way, and then when they saw the camera, the mouse makes your head move. So all of a sudden they're like, oh, like,
oh,
they're like, I'm being watched. It was just so funny, like how you see people react, like in real life, to the camera
that's
and
true.
everything like that. So
That is so true.
yeah.
Oh, we got to do a shout out to Hex.
Hex, what up, baby?
Hey,
What's going on,
Hex,
guys?
my
So
brother.
OVR mapping is getting really popular. It's starting to get, some word around. I'm hearing that, you can get paid to map places. So do you want to expand on that a little bit? On Over the Reality, which you can find in the App Store, guys. It's in Android and Apple. It's called OVR. Maybe you can type in OVR Metaverse and it'll come up.
Yeah, thanks so much for giving me that opportunity, Stilo. Yeah, so Over the Reality is a spatial web platform. Literally, it's a digital layer that surrounds the physical world. It's divided up in hexagons. Each hexagon is branded in Overland. Now, this 3D mapping thing, Over launched the Map the World in 3D campaign December 2023, and it's actually a Deepin project. So Deepin, look it up, guys. Decentralized Physical Infrastructure Network. Basically,
How do you
what
spell
that
that acronym?
big D, little E, then capital P, capital I, capital N.
Ah, gotcha. Thank you.
And what that's doing is it's kind of like taking real life assets and creating a network around it where people have the autonomy and the authority to take part in ownership and at the same time reap the rewards by, I guess, earning currency, what you would call it. So Over the Realities Map the World campaigns, Deepen is actually map to earn. So
Mm.
what people are doing is they are mapping areas in the world that people have already bought. Okay? So think about this. Back in 2020, I think 2019,
You
20
That people bought in the app or in real life?
they you can buy it on the website. It's best to buy. So these hexagons that are or overlands that are around the whole world,
And
they
and 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 what that is, guys, is that I think is this there's spaces. The whole world is a grid of hexagons. So
yes,
she's saying
correct.
one hexagon. Okay.
Is an overland. Yes.
Gotcha.
And back in 2019, 2020, 2021, people were just crazy buying up hexagons or overlands over like
In
over
2018?
2019,
Okay.
2021, right? Like
Wow.
Hex bought up a lot of Epcot. People were buying up stadiums. People were buying up like Central Park.
Wow.
People were buying up locations that they deemed valuable. Now,
Right.
why were people buying these digital layers over the real world? Because they envisioned, because Over the Reality is an augmented reality platform, they envisioned that if they were going to buy up these digital layers over these valued real life properties, then either they could create content or turn around and rent or sell it to the actual owners of the stadiums to create AR experiences.
Mm.
So mapping the world, map to earn, is you're actually mapping these areas that have already been deemed valuable by crowdsourcing, by the crowd. Wisdom of the crowd, as Diego Di Tommaso calls it, because the crowd chose which areas in the world was valuable. So Over's like, okay, So we're going to assign an over token reward value to it. So, okay, people, map it. So as you map, you get rewarded an over token, and then you claim it. And then once you claim it in your MetaMask, you literally can swap it or hold it. Now, I will do a shout out to Elias. He actually was able to, 3 months of mapping, he was able to earn about an ETH worth of over tokens
At
just
what
from just
at
from
what time?
mapping. I guess
Like
from
2 years ago?
no, this year.
Oh, okay.
2 years ago. Yeah,
So
2 years ago,
that's
map to earn wasn't really around.
so 1 ETH for everybody listening right now. I think it's what, 4,400. 1 ETH. So he made around 4,000. Is that what you said
Uh,
that?
yeah, from mapping just 3 months this year,
Right.
and
Wow, that's a
and
lot.
well, he
Two
mapped
two
a lot.
thousand 2,700. I'm sorry, guys.
He's
Way
a
off.
power mapper. He takes his DJI Mobile 6 gimbal. He goes around.
No
He maps. He
way. With
maps.
his
He maps.
drone?
No, he just no. It's the gimbal. It's actually the
Oh, the
head.
gimbal.
Yeah.
Got you.
So he's like one of the power mappers, and what he did
So
was,
so he'll put his phone on the gimbal
yep,
and just film and map it.
yeah. I have actually a DJI gimbal I bought last year, but
What if can you map with a drone that flies? What if you
n-
put your phone on duct tape it to the drone? Or no, drones have cameras. What am I thinking? Oh no, you
n-
need the phone, the app.
yeah, you need the app, and currently it is not. The app isn't like, if over partner with DJI, that would be so cool. But then you would really need like a stabilized drone with all the stabilizers,
Mm,
because it's really in order to get a map approved,
has to be clear.
it's the consistency and clear. So what Elias did was he made about 1 ETH, and with that he turned around and swapped it for Nets, which is the main Nets, which is a token for the mainnet Z layer 1 blockchain. And then he actually bought 21 Xenu NFTs. 21
Wow.
Z. So yeah, we actually have a program for content creators to 3D map. And if you can join this, if you join the content creator program for 3D mapping, just DM me at Digital Femme on Twitter. And the thing is, you can get the thing is, if you map 350 approved maps per month, you get 250 US dollars in over tokens, in addition to whatever rewards you get for mapping. But that's
Wow.
essentially what over and map to earn is.
So if I were to download Over today and I were to go outside, would it be hard to find a place that's not mappable in Los Angeles, let's say?
Oh God, because you're in LA? Oh hell no. When you download the app, you enter the mapper, the map to earn icon, and then there's a tutorial. When it, because it's location based, the app will know that you are in LA, and it'll populate all the areas that can be mapped and what price of over tokens they actually are. There's also some areas that just have just have the clover leaf, and you can map them, but you are not guaranteed that each clover leaf area actually has a reward. I think it's 15% chance.
Mm.
But you will see, because you're in LA, there's so many places in LA to map.
Okay. And I see Hexadize, he's going mapping right now, actually. He says you can also decorate with these maps beyond tokens and earning money. So I remember some people from the over community. They were like, "Hey, Stilo, we're going to LA for NFT NYC. Like, come through. Um, we're gonna have your stuff set up in AR, and they sent a video of like my avatar at like LA Live and like, and it had like a booth and the music video would play. And I was like, wow, that's really dope. That was really cool. So what is that? And like, can you do that anywhere? Do you have to own the space that you're decorating? What's that?
Okay, I don't know why Hex used decorate. I think he needs coffee. He needs a cold cup of coffee. What he means is creating AR experiences. So you can, if you own an overland, then you can definitely upload your 3D assets created from Unity. It's Unity 3D. We have a Unity 3D SDK where you can literally decorate or create AR experiences on an overland, or even a number of overlands, as long as they're attached together.
Nice.
So the thing what with over the reality is, imagine this: because you're 3D mapping, you're actually taking a Gaussian splat, like hundreds of photos. Your camera takes hundreds of photos as you move. If you stop, it stops taking photos. But with the app, and you enable the mapping feature, you move the app around in concentric circles, from starting from the center and moving outwards of the overland. It's taking lots and lots and lots, hundreds and hundreds of photos. So that's a 3D map. That's an actual 3D map of the actual physical location. What you can do with that 3D map is, because it's of the physical location, you can integrate an AR asset into it. So let's say
Even if I
somebody,
don't own it,
well, you would need access to it. If you found out the owner of a location in LA that's been, you can buy it,
or I can
as long
buy
as
like
it's not owned.
if I go to like the Redondo Beach Pier right
Hmm.
here,
Hmm.
nobody owns it. I can buy it and then put my assets.
Yes. And not only that, you can put your assets, but if you were to create like art, you can have like the Dope
Mm-hmm.
Stilo art gallery in AR. And then Hex
Mm-hmm.
says you can also rent it from people. So you just have to
Right.
contact the people who already own the
Man,
overland, and then say, "Hey, I can rent it to you for." But with Hex, he kind of
I'm
gives off his overlands for free, to be honest.
man, I'm bullish on Hex, man. This guy's like in on so many early things. It's crazy. Love what he's doing in the space as well. Such a positive attitude, great pioneer, great spirit. Really, truly appreciate you, Hexadize. Yeah, you've been an amazing friend. Definitely, thank you, and can't wait to see you. I know if I ever met him in person, like it'd just be like I know the dude. I'd be like, "Yo, what up, Hex? What's going on, brother? What's good?"
100%,
So,
100%. Hearts to
um,
Hex.
yeah, so we don't want to take too much of your time, Carmen. We got like 10 minutes left. But so we've had a great conversation. I'm still curious about OVR. So I know that we follow each other. Over and we follow each other. So I'm gonna get in their timeline. I'm gonna start mapping. I'm gonna download the app today. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna tag them and see what I can do and see what I can create. So for anyone like me, do you have any suggestions, any recommendations, anything to keep in mind? Anything anyone can write down right now for their first experience in Over.
Is this for mapping?
Um, like as an artist, like what can I do? If I want to use it to benefit me, and like how can I create cool content and then post it somewhere? Like what are some creators doing? Some top creators on Over right now doing that? Go, oh, that's cool. I'll retweet that.
Okay, so aside from map to earn and the mapping, what Over really is it's a digital canvas. It really is. And Hex knows this. So the reason why I came across Over the Reality, I have to tell you this, because I was creating a lot of content in Second Life in 2007 to 10. I attended my first augmented reality developer camp in 2009. And then once I saw the business use cases, or the use cases for AR over the real world, I was like, in 2009, I was like, oh my God, if I could just create content like I can in Second Life over the real world in AR, that's the future.
Right.
So fast forward to 2021, I was having this NFT collection and I followed the NFT hashtag. That's how I came across Over the Reality.
Mhm.
And when I clicked on their bio profile on Twitter, I was like, Over the Reality, that's a long ass tag name for Twitter. And I
Mhm.
clicked on their website, and Stilo, I was blown, because what I wanted in 2009, here it is. So to me, aside from the map to earn, and that's great, that's a whole deep in project and everything. If you're a content creator and you can create in 3D like Blender, Maya, because really you can just export a GBL file or whatever files, because it's actually Unity, but you can always convert your files into Unity. You can create
And
whatever you can do on spatial.
Yeah.
You can create in AR and everyone can see it. Like
And
it's in AR.
And when you upload a GLB, which is a 3D file, guys, for everyone out there, it's a 3D file, just like a song is an MP3. A
Mhm.
3D file is a GLB. So so let's say I make the GLB in Blender or Unity, and then I upload it to my Google Drive. Then I go on my phone, open, open Google Drive, put it in my phone, the file, and then I upload it to OVR, or
No,
do you use OVR on the desktop?
you would do it on the desktop.
Oh, wow, that's cool. Okay, because 'cause I'm picturing, like, you have to be at the location, you gotta be there and, like, if I wanted to put my avatar on the street corner singing my song right here
Yeah.
on loop, like, I thought I would have to be there and, like, place it with my finger or,
No, and I'm glad you said that. No, you would have to use the Unity SDK, or there's a web builder. We actually have a web builder, and I could send you the link. If you're a content creator, and you need to be creating content in AR. So right now,
Mm,
because of Over's 3D mapping, so 3D mapping is kind of like a VR, AR. It's like an XR thing. So here's the thing: if you want to create your avatar or upload your avatar as a GBL file, like let's say like somewhere in Redondo Beach, if it's
mhm.
not bought yet, I'm sure there's areas in Redondo Beach that haven't been bought. You will place it on the web browser, whatever that platform is. I don't know, on the web. And because you can actually place it within, what is it, 4 to 6 centimeters, which is about the accuracy 2.5 inches. I have to say this: over his last Twitter X post was was GPS versus VPS. So when people ask me, why is over mapping the world? Like, doesn't Google do that? Hasn't Google been mapping the world in 3D? And I'm like, yes, you're right. There is a Google feature where you can see it on 3D on your app and browser. However, number one, Google's not on the blockchain.
Mhm.
Number two, Google is not it's not
Offering ownership.
offering ownership, and AR per se, not yet anyway. I think they partnered with Niantic two years ago, whatever. However, Google uses GPS, Global Positioning System. The accuracy of GPS is literally between, like I think 14 to 16 feet. That's okay if you want to if you're in a big
Oh,
car
wow, I
and a
think you're about
bike,
to drop a bomb.
right? And you want to go, oh yeah, there's that corner of the building. That's okay for GPS, because you're just kind of like figuring out, yeah, it's the Hollywood and Vine, there it is. But when we're talking about Web3, and we're talking about Web3 gaming, and we're talking about the impact of augmented reality with Web3 gaming, game devs or anybody would want a 3D asset like this ball to be positioned in the real world exactly where it needs to be, not over on the street, not on top of somewhere, not hanging on the sky. So over uses VPS, visual positioning system.
Wow.
The accuracy of that is between 4 to 6 centimeters, or for those of you in the United States, about 2.5 inches.
Wow, that's insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So if you're a content creator, look into the over the reality dot AI website. Is there a thing we can just
Yeah,
follow Stilo and
put
I?
it in the chat. Put it in the public chat as well, 'cause it'll be there forever.
Okay,
S
currently I don't have access to type in the public chat.
Really? How do I do that?
That's
Um,
fine. You do it.
okay,
Or I'll do it in the private chat.
let's see. Yeah, and I'll
And then
copy and paste. Oh,
there
here we
you
go.
go.
Guest can control. How about now?
All right, let me
Do
check.
you have access now?
Let me see. Let me see. No, I probably need to do a restart. And we won't want to do that.
Okay.
Okay, let me do it.
Uh, how about now? No? Oh, wow, look at that. The chat can be in the freaking thing. I love it.
Okay, here's the private, and you can copy and paste.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're a content creator, guys, to me, over the reality is a digital canvas layered over the whole world. And you don't even have to live in the area to show your work. There's oceans. The world has more water space than land. There's no reason why you can't buy an ocean, like overlands or hexagons over an ocean, put AR content there, and then get people to see it on their mobile phone remotely from wherever they are.
Hmm. Interesting. How would they see it? Because you can explore in the
In
phone?
the app, yes. If you download the
What
app,
is it? Okay.
Yeah, if you download the app Stilo, you are able to see a plethora of AR experiences that people have created, and also our some brand partners have done.
Cool. Awesome. Any brands in there right now that we know of, or do you know anyone that's like kind of really pushing the space right now over there?
Well, I'm gonna actually say
Or
community member, an OG Cyber Nerd Baby.
nice.
We all know Cyber Nerd
Yes.
Baby.
Yeah.
They've done a lot. The brands are,
When I
mostly.
when I met Cyber Nerd Baby, they were in OVR a lot.
Yes, yes,
They were very familiar.
very f and then they went to Spatial, they did a lot with Spatial
Yeah.
and Decentraland
Yeah.
and other metaverses, and now they're really focused on Roblox.
Hmm.
So, yeah. You'd have to see, I can't really recall the type of brands that are there. You'd have to actually download the app and check out all the featured experiences or, it's almost like going through a marketplace of AR experiences, except you don't buy the experiences.
Yeah. I'm sure we can find so much inspiration over there. Um, wow. So thank you so much for all that information. I'm definitely going to be downloading the app, checking it out, seeing what I can do. I know I can always hit you guys up, Digital Femme on Twitter, Hexadized on Twitter, Altered Alley
Altered Alley?
on Twitter. So yeah, thank you so much for for being here. We like to have the unconventional interviews, the passionate talks, and the unconventional questions, the genuine feeling, the genuine spark here. This is Momentum. We're gonna do this every Wednesday, every Monday, and Super Wednesday, guys. Tune in. We're gonna have a Twitter space at 9 a.m. PST. 12 p.m. EST, and then we're going to have the after party in Spatial. So we're kind of incorporating all the platforms together. Carmen, Digital Femme. It was so much fun. It was so awesome to have you. Is there, where can people find your work? Where can people find you? I really appreciate you, talking about how you're really, sitting back right now, absorbing it all in, planning what can be done, just along with the future. Where can we find you? Where can we keep up with you?
I think the best place is to follow me on Twitter at Digital Femme. And then from there, you can just connect with me because I think I have like a link tree or some kind of profile links where you can find me. But always hit me up on Twitter X.
Okay.
Stilo, I have to say this was so much fun. I'm so glad that I love that you have a schedule of different aspects of creating for the week. And you not only it's not about you, but it's actually bringing communities together and getting people to see what other people are doing in the spaces of all genres, of all walks of life, and all types of creators and artists. I love that. And the fact that you are in Los Angeles, this is huge because you know what? This is still very new. Even though we're in 2021 or 2020, honestly, Stilo, what you're doing is still very new and niche, and you can take this so far, especially because you're in LA. I'm loving this journey for you, Stilo. And you know what?
Thank you.
Can I interview you at another time, please?
Of course.
I have so many questions for you, like so many,
Me
but
too. I have a lot for you. Trust me. I wish we had another hour because I could easily spend that with you.
yeah.
Well, let's do it again. Let's do it again in like a month from now. And yeah, I'd love to, be on your show. It's not a problem. It'd be an honor.
Okay,
There's
thank
we have so much to talk about.
you so much.
So
I'm just a fan of yours, and everybody else on
likewise.
stage. We gotta do a shout out to Spatial. I don't know what they did, but the seamlessness of their mobile app is mind blowing.
Yep. Definitely. Shout out to Spatial. Love that crew over there, Jake, Gia. They've done so much for me. They flew me out to New York. You know,
What?
yeah, they flew me out to New York, paid for everything, hotel, food, Uber, everything. Made sure I had like the best experience. I performed at the Samsung store in Soho, for
Oh,
their
that's right. I saw
NFT
that.
NFT NYC event.
NYC.
They could have chosen Miguel, they could have chosen, anyone, and they chose a community a
Wow.
member, a creator, and uh, just like over, using the blockchain, that is the way businesses will be doing business. And spatial, you doing the web3, like community led growth, that really sparked a huge loyal bond and trust. So I'm really excited for spatial. I love them so much. Shout out to even all the back end wonky, everyone back there, Jake, the other, Jake Steinerman, and the other Jake. So thank you so much, you guys, and it was a great honor to be here with you, and I can't wait to connect with you more.
Absolutely. And guys, please, if you're
Oh,
watching on you, is this YouTube?
YouTube and Instagram,
If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe to Dope Stilo's channel, and please leave a comment.
please. Yes,
Ask questions, ask Stilo questions, collaborate.
definitely. Don't you? What live activations do you have every week before we go?
I used to, but I'm starting again tomorrow. I have the Hexadize handed over the Tech Talk Tuesdays, and then
Nice.
there's the Over Community weekly Twitter Spaces on
Over
Thursdays.
and
Yeah,
over does that?
as Over does that, I do that for Over.
Ah, okay, cool,
Yeah.
awesome,
But yeah, guys, have a great
awesome.
I know, have a great week. And Stilo, thank you so much for this opportunity to share my story. I'm so glad I finally get to connect with you one on one and not just avatar to avatar. And
Definitely.
I can't wait for your Super Wednesday.
Thank you, and we got to do this again. So plan on
100%.
it.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye everyone.
Bye, everybody. See, see you next week,
See you next week.
11 a.m. PST, Monday.